All right, guys. Today for math, we are in math book number 1, and we are on page 425, just like it shows here. So you need to go grab your math book number 1 and open up to page 425. All right, we are talking today about sequences, and sequences are just like the patterns we've talked about. We've talked about numeric with numbers and non-numeric with shapes and colors patterns. Today we're going to talk about sequences, and on the top of your page, it says, patterns follow a rule. Each number in a numeric pattern is called a term. The ordered arrangement of terms that make up a pattern is called a sequence. So basically, each number in a pattern is called a term, and the order they go in is a sequence. So here we go. We're going to look at example number 1. It says here that Crystal starts reading her book on Monday. She reads 25 pages on the first day. Each day, she reads 25 pages. How many total pages will she have read by Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday? So we know the first term, the first number in our sequence is going to be 25 because that's how many pages she read the first day. Our rule is to add 25. So we have to extend the pattern. So we're going to think about it just like when we count quarters. We go 25 plus 25 more would be 50. Fill it in your math book. Now we're going to count the next quarter. 25, 50, 75, 100. And by Friday, she'll have read 125 pages. So Crystal will have read 50 pages by Tuesday, 75 pages by Wednesday, 100 pages by Thursday, and 125 pages by Friday. So all we're doing when we're doing these sequences, it's the same thing we've been doing with numbers. Now it's just getting a little bit more complicated. So remember, if at any time I go too fast for you, you can always pause the video to fill in the numbers. But I would like you to fill them in your math book as we go. All right, I want you to turn to the next page, the top of page 426. Excuse me, and we're going to look at example number 2. It says the first term, which remember the first term is the first number, in our sequence is 65. So right here, here's our 65, our first term. The rule of the sequence is subtract 4. Find the next 4 terms in the sequence. Then make observations about the patterns. So we need to find the next 4 terms or numbers. So we're going to start at 65, and we're going to take 4 away. 65, 64, 63, 62, 61. All right, now we're going to subtract 4 again. 61, 60, 59, 58, 50, exactly, 57. All right, we're going to subtract 4 again. 57, 56, 55, 54, 53. And we're going to subtract 4 one more time. 53, 52, 51, 50, 49. So the next 4 numbers in our sequence are 61, 57, 53, and 49. That's step 1. Now we have to look at step 2. It says, make observations about the pattern. Remember, observations are things we can see. So we just have to look at these numbers, look at our terms, and see what do we see about them. Circle whether the terms are odd or even. So what are all these numbers? Odd or even? They are all odd because they end in 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9. So when you're looking at observations, you could talk about they're odd or they're even. Or maybe they go back and forth. Odd, even, odd, even. Our next question, circle whether the terms increase. So that means do they get bigger? Or do they decrease? Do they get smaller? What are these numbers doing? Are they getting bigger or smaller? They are getting smaller. They are decreasing. We are not going to extend the pattern, but we could. And then we're going to look and we'll see other patterns, but we're not going to worry about this bottom part either. So a lot of it today is they're going to tell you what's the first term, the first number in a sequence, and they're going to tell you what that rule is, and you're going to finish that sequence, and then you're going to make an observation. Maybe it's the numbers are odd or even, or they're decreasing or they're increasing. They're getting bigger, they're getting smaller. Or maybe there's a number that keeps repeating itself over and over again. You'll have to wait and see. All right, we're going to look at the independent practice page. So flip over to page 427. We're not going to do all of these because, like you know, I like to kind of skip around. So we're only going to do some of them, not all of them. All right. So here we go. We're going to look at number 3. Our first number, let me get my pen ready here. Our first number, our first term in our sequence is 7. And our rule, every time we're going to add 9. So we're going to take 7 plus 9, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Fill it in, number 3. Now we're going to add 9 more. So we're going to start at 16 and add 9 more. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. And we're going to keep adding 9 every time. 25 plus 9 is going to give us 34. And we're going to add 9 one last time. And we're going to get 43. Now, all of our observations might be a little different. I noticed 2 things about this. Number 1, I noticed that my numbers are all getting bigger. So I could put increasing. Or I could put getting bigger. I also noticed they make a pattern. Odd, even, odd, even, odd. So I could write that it's an odd slash even pattern. You might notice something else. That's okay. Sorry, my handwriting's a little messy. I'm trying to write with my mouse. That's okay. All right. It's going to be the same thing for all of these as you go through. This next one, the pattern is subtract 9. So we would do the same thing. We're going to start with 87, and we're going to take 9 away. Make sure if you count on your fingers, you count really carefully. That way you don't get too many. So 87, 86, 85, 84, 83, 82, 81, 80, 79, 78. I want you to pause the video right here, and I want you to finish the next 3 terms in this sequence. You're going to keep minusing 9. Pause and fill in the sequence. All right, check and make sure your answers match mine. You should go 69, 60, 51. And I want you to make an observation. Only have to make one. Is the pattern increasing or getting bigger or decreasing and getting smaller? Are they all odd? Are they all even? You decide and fill in an observation. Pause the video while you write in your observation. All right. You should have your observation written down. Let's look at number 7. You can have rules that are multiplication or division too. That's okay. The rule here is multiply by 3. That's easy. We can do that. Here we go. 2 times 3 is 6. Uh-oh. Now we're getting really big. 6 times 3 is 18. Uh-oh. 18 times 3. Remember, I'm going to write it on the side. Remember how we do these ones. You can do this. I believe in you. You're going to multiply up. 8 times 3, 24. And then you're going to go over. 3 times 1 is 3. Plus 2 more is 5. 54. And I want you to pause the video. And I want you to figure out what 54 times 3 is. And I want you to fill it in right here. 54 times 3. Set it up just like we did over here. All right. Yours should have looked like this. Check your work. Don't copy mine. You should already have it done. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 5 is 15. Plus 1 more is 16. 162. And the last kind of pattern we can have is a division pattern. Where we divide, we cut them in half. These ones are going to be a little bit harder because we're not as stellar at division as we are at multiplication. So I'm going to help you out with the first one. We're going to take 64 and cut it in half, and we get 32. Then we're going to take 32 and we're going to cut it in half, and we're going to get 16. Now we should be able to do these. 16 divided by 2 gives us 8. This one's an easy one. 8 divided by 2 gives us 4. And the easiest observation about this one, all our numbers are even. That's all there is today. It's just some bigger vocabulary. So your next step, I want you to go back to our Schoology and go to the assignment. And there's only a couple questions on sequencing I want you to fill in. But I do want you to go back and do this. Remember, if you get stuck, you have your math book right in front of you. You also have your assignment because you filled it in your math book. You have my video. Use those 2 things to help you. They're not going to be hard sequences. You guys know how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. I believe in you. All right? So you're going to fill in the pattern, and you're going to give me an observation. When you are done with this video, which you'll be in about 10 seconds, and you're done with your assignment, you are done with math for today, and you are done with math for week 2 of distance learning. You guys got this. Have a good day.